Hammond here with San Francisco 49ers running back, former Penn State quarterback, Michael Robinson. First day of pads, training camp 2010-2011 NFL season. Talk a bit about the 49ers this season and the rest of the NFC West.
Well, our goal is to win the West. Our goal is to go out and play as hard as we possibly can, play 49er football. We want to be the standard of the National Football League. And that's what Coach Singh preaches every day. And we try to live up to that tempo every day at practice. We feel like if we get better every practice, the rest will take care of itself on the field.
Where are you better today as a football team than you were last year as a football team? And also describe the 49er way of playing football.
Well, I think, especially offensively, we're light years ahead of where we were last year, around this time last year. Last year, we had a new offense coordinator, a new system of coaches, and everything was just getting into place. We were still learning the offense. Now, instead of having 3-hour installations with plays and things, we're going right out an hour, and we already know the plays. We already know the depths of the routes. We already know where to run the ball. We already know how the coaches want things done. And the 49er way. The 49er way, I got 5 things for you. Physical, tough, relentless, smart, and disciplined. That's the 49er way.
Now, you had mentioned that you have a second year with your offensive coordinator. You're not spending so much time going over the X's and O's, but you're out here actually executing from minute one. That's one thing that's going to empower your offense to be better, specifically quarterback Alex Smith. What else is going to empower him to be the quarterback that he's expected to be?
Michael Crabtree, Frank Gore, Vernon Davis, Mike Iupati, Anthony Davis, Joe Staley, Patrick Willis, myself, special teams. We are one unit. Alex Smith is not just it's not just an offense. It's not just a defense. It's not just a special teams. We play as one. We understand offensively that without the defense getting us the ball, we can't go do what we do. We understand special team-wise that we have to create great field position for our offense, or we have to back a team up for our defense. It all ties in together. We're about getting yardage, and keeping the other team from getting yardage and getting turnovers.
Now, you've got 2 rookie offensive linemen. I know you've only had 1 day in pads with them, so you haven't had too much time to gel with them and build too much chemistry. But just from what you know of them and their background and the scouting reports, do you see them having more of an impact on the running game or the passing game?
Probably the run game. Especially a guy like Mike Iupati, big, strong guy. And he eats space up, and he loves to block. That's the one thing I like about these 2 guys, and Anthony Davis. They love to block. They love the game of football. And your passion for the game is something you can't teach. That's something you're born with. And I think these guys really have a great passion for the game of football, and you see it in their play.
Michael Crabtree, talk about his development.
Mike is definitely, when he first got here, I think he thought the NFL was a little bit, I think he thought he was back in the Big 12, He thought it was easier than what it would be. But he's adjusted. He's a great athlete. He's one of those big guys, big receiver. He's a down-the-field receiver. He's a deep threat, but at the same time, his body moves like a slot receiver, so he can do it all. We try to put him in different matchups to utilize his quickness on linebackers, on safeties, and things like that, so a team can't put 2 guys on him. But he's a guy who, he can go through a whole practice without gloves. He has paws, big hands, long arms. So he's been a great addition to the 49er family, and I can't wait to see him play this year. I think if not the Pro Bowl this year, definitely next year.
Where do you need to improve as a team the most on offense?
Where do we need to improve? Probably right now we just need to become more consistent. Offensively, we make big plays. We'll make 1 big play and 3 bad plays right after it. We have to become more consistent. Know what we do and just do what we do. We can't let a defense dictate what we do. We should go out, play in our tempo, and dictate to the defense what they should play. And I think we'll do that this year.
Let's move to the rest of the NFC West. Dewey Hammond here with Michael Robinson talking about the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle, new coaching staff. a lot of new players, but they have some of their core guys still there. Hasselback, Hoosh is still there. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, but at the same time, it's still the NFL, and those guys have a lot of pride. I don't know what system they're going to exactly run, but when we've played them in the past, it was all about defeating the system. It didn't matter who was there. It didn't matter what receiver was there, what quarterback was there. You playing against the system there. So I don't know what type of offense they're going to have this year. I don't know what type of offense they're going to have this year, but at the same time, we have to be prepared for anything that they're going to do. They've also utilized some things on special teams before against us. We have to be ready for that. Defensively, they've always been solid. They had the first rounder last year, Curry, I think his name was, freak of nature, great rusher, and they try to put him on backs all the time. So as running backs, we have to be ready, and we got to be ready to take advantage of the big plays when they're there.
Now, you had talked about a new coaching staff as one of your challenges last season with the new offensive coordinator in San Francisco, and that this year, having a second year under your belt, it's easier to come out here and just execute right off the bat. And consequently, that impacts, like you said, the defensive approach to the game. They have a new offense in Seattle, and you're not really sure what it's going to be. How does that impact your approach to game planning for the Seahawks when you line up with them twice a year this year?
Well, knowing that, we have to beat their defense up. We got to go. Offensively, we have to hold the ball a little bit. Keep their offense on the field, keep their defense on the field. They're going to have a new coaching staff. Who knows what they'll be running? But we have to have great ball control and keep their offense off the field. If their offense is not on the field, they can't score, and our defense is happy. You kind of want your defense on the sideline itching to get in there. That's a good thing. So I know if you ask Pat, he might not like it, but at the same time, that's a good thing. So if we can create great ball control and control the turnover ratio, we'll win games.
Dewey Hammond here with San Francisco 49ers running back Michael Robinson, former Penn State quarterback, talking NFC West. Let's talk about the St. Louis Rams.
They're in a rebuilding mode. They have that the first round quarterback. Hopefully he'll hold up. I know he's been injured in the past. But he can throw the ball. He can definitely throw the ball. And defensively, they're solid. They're very solid defensively. They have a beast at running back, and Steven Jackson. They try to control the game with him. And I think we can load up and stop him, tackle him, because he breaks a lot of tackles. He's a big guy. Tackle him and get him down. I think we'll be fine.
A guy like Steven Jackson, he's been under the radar to a degree playing in St. Louis, which has seen better days. But he's been in the league for more than a minute now. He's had a heavy workload. He's taken a lot of carries. At what point as a running back can you start to see that decline? And is it easy for you as a player to predict going into a season sort of which running backs you think are going to fall off a little?
Well, it's tough because I think it depends on your offensive line. You can get a young, like, for instance, Larry Johnson. He went to Penn State, had those great years in Kansas City. They had a beast offensive line. You know what I mean? Not taking anything away from Larry, because he ran the ball more times than any guy in NFL history. But at the same time, he had a beast offensive line, and when that offensive line left, it made it look like he fell off. But in actuality, the offensive line just wasn't there like it should have been. So I think if they can keep their offensive line healthy and keep them flying around, I think Steven Jackson will be fine.
Dewey Hammond here with former Penn State quarterback Michael Robinson, current running back for the San Francisco 49ers. We're talking NFC West. Let's go down to Arizona and talk about the Arizona Cardinals. It's Matt Liner's year to sink or swim.
Yeah, absolutely. And I live in Phoenix, so I see those guys a lot. It's Matt Liner's year. I mean, he has to show up for those guys. But Derek Anderson is right there, and he can play. I've worked out with him before, out in Arizona, just running routes, and he can play. Their defense is pretty much still intact. They lost Antrell Roll, which did great things for him, because he was allowed to cover guys in the slot and be able to come down for the run fits. And they have Dockett in the middle, who can control things. And then you got I think it's Campbell, and he's starting to grow up and mature. So the defensively, they're solid. You know, we've always been. Whenever we play them, we always we know we have to get up for it. You know, they're going to come downhill, they're going to hit you, and we have to match their intensity.
How does losing Anquan Bolden impact their offense, and consequently, how do you see it improving Baltimore's offense?
Oh, definitely. I work out with Anquan. Anquan's a great athlete, great receiver, and not only a great receiver and not only a great athlete, he's a great person. You know, he's great for the locker room. I think they're going to miss that more than anything. He's a leader on and off the field, and he was one of those guys where he create matchups. You can line him up in the backfield and can give him the ball in the backfield. You know, he's a big guy. He can block linebackers, and he's done that. And I think he's going to add more toughness to that offense out there in Baltimore. He's a Baltimore guy when you look at it the way he plays. You know, tough, physical. You know, he takes a defensive mentality and puts it on offense, and I think that he'll do great things out there.
You know, you're not the first person who's told me that. Recently I was talking to an former Arizona Cardinals scout who said that when he was with Arizona and Anquan was with Arizona, that they called him the Ray Lewis of the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. The heart and soul. You know, he's gonna speak up. He's gonna be very vocal. He's gonna lead by example, and you can only respect a guy like that.